I've noticed
So,
in some of your videos, obviously you've been doing a lot of looks like bicep work. Did you think that
yeah,
was a gap that like the
it's
big gap
interesting.
that
Yeah,
you said?
it's funny. A lot of people have asked me about that, and it's interesting because if you were to ask me where do biceps rank in a fundamental priority for arm wrestling, I put them quite low. They're obviously valuable, but then they're not as valuable as wrist flexion or pronation, in my opinion, or anything hand and wrist. But I already know that I have enough hand and wrist to do the job if I get the position. One way that I know I lose the match is if I don't have the static threat at center in the initial grip up to maintain a high position. If I have to grip Lachlan low, I'm screwed. I can't grip him low. He's got too much wrist flexion and too much back pressure there. So there's a lot of reward for me being able to maintain a high position. Now I already know that I was able to, like 3 months ago, if we had had this match, maintaining a high position was like, oh, I can maybe get it. Yeah, it's right there. It was like really red line to get it.
Yeah.
So for me, given that I had 3 months prep, I thought the greatest reward in preparing specifically for Lachlan was to add some value to my static threat at center table in respect to being able to maintain high knuckles. So the work's been done. My numbers have gone through the roof in my bicep.
Yeah, it's been impressive.
I've added 23% to my bicep lifts in the last 2 months. So I go into this match now feeling like I could have won it with what it felt like 2 months ago. Now it's like, oh man, if when we get to the start, like if I've got like real significant control of the high ground, I'll tell you it's 6-0 and it's going to be a real bad day. If he can't match the high ground with me, because my arm's longer than his, if he can't match the high ground with me, he is screwed. He is so screwed. And you'll see that, you'll know the very first ready go outside of straps, if you see him slip and run for the hills, it's over. Okay, it's over, because if he can maintain high ground, he will hold on out of straps. But if he senses that I've got the high ground, you watch him run for the hills.
So you're going to try to do it out of straps?
Yeah, if I will. If he is slipping me, I will start banging directly sideways from there and scaring the pants off him, and just yeah. If he grips me too deep, I'll hook him out of straps as well. I'm really comfortable out of straps because I can initiate a lot quicker than him. So when the match stops, I'm in position. He won't be. So, but that first radio out of straps will be a very big indicator as to how the match goes. If he tries to hold on to me out of straps first radio, you know we're in for a war, and it could go either way. But
do you think that benefits you? If it ends up in a war, do you have more stamina?
Yeah, I think that. Well, I think. Yes, I have more stamina in the sense that I can maintain, let's say I can maintain 100 or 90% of my max effort for longer than he can maintain 90% of his max effort. But his max effort is higher than mine. So it's an interesting one. Like, I mean, the stamina thing depends on where the match stops. If the match stops in a slightly compromised position for him, then he's screwed. If the match stops in a compromised position for me, then it's going to be harder. I do have more endurance than him. My elbow is the one thing that I know is better than his. If we're talking fundamental strengths, his biceps better than mine, his wrist flexion is better than mine, my pronation is better than his, and my elbow integrity, i.e. joint connectiveness, elbow-based side pressure, is better than his as well.
Yeah.
So
after seeing the Ryan Scott match, I would agree with that, because that was some pretty crazy stuff.
I've never been able to do that to Lachlan because his bicep strength is so big. Like if he busted my wrist back and I'm there, I think his biceps too much. But if his pronation is gassed, which I will be able to do over 6 rounds, I believe I will get his pronation totally under control. He will be palm up from round 3 onwards. He will be palm up for all rounds. And if he's going to pin me, he's going to be doing this ugly, novice-looking dropping hook where he's using just his bicep. That's all it'll be. That's all he'll have left, because his pronator will be dead.
So does he have a king's move?
He doesn't have a king's move, but he will do any. He'll probably die on his sword because he won't want to lose. So if we're ever going to see one, this will be the time. but he would be so bad at it that I'll sit there and laugh and just move around it and just wait for it and just it won't be good. It won't be good.
So what about you? Are you prepared to rip out a Kings move if you need to?
Oh, hell yeah, I will do everything, and that's the thing. I can do it all proficiently. I got the full range. I got the full range of weapons up the sleeve if I need them. Like one thing that makes me, I think, successful in my super matches is that I'm conditioned across the full spectrum, but I also believe I have a great ability to foresee all of the future pathways that can potentially happen in a match. I study it, I think about it, and I envision. That's what people hear me give detailed predictions on Dave Chafee versus Levan. That's what I really enjoy diving deep into imagining the nuances of the entire match. And there is definitely a pathway where I can see myself banging sideways, crushing his pronator. He stops it with his bicep. He reverses into this dropping hook. I absorb it, but then I can't get out. He goes on another attack and opens up my bicep, and I have to drop into a King's move, and then I flatten his wrist. And he will then try to flop roll me and desperately try as I climb and get control of his hand. He might then come up for a flop press, but it'll be too late because I'll have control of the hand completely, and I'll be rising and regripping and getting back center. So there is a scenario where I can see it happening. It's not a likely scenario. I think I'll fundamentally defeat him before it gets to that point. But there is that possibility. And yes, I am prepared to if I have to. Awesome. There's no shame in it.
I almost want to see it now. Two Kings moves, just both of you just just desperate.
You know, in training we've been there before. We have been there before. And Lachlan was quite lost when I did it. He showed his inexperience in knowing the smaller movements needed to counter it.
It is as well. It's I'm the same. Like the first time I experienced it training, I was like, Jesus, what the hell do I do with this? But then after 2 or 3 times, I'm pretty comfortable with it now that I know sort of how to deal with it, and it's not too bad once you kind of know.
You have a solid King's move yourself too. I've seen you do that.
On the left, I do. The right, no, I cannot do it on the right. It's hopeless. So.
Yeah. Well, I know that Lachlan will try to press it. If he senses that I have a genuine stop in the King's move, he will very urgently rush to a press. He won't try to out King's move me. He won't try to climb and regrip. He knows he'll lose that because he sucks. But he will be like, "Oh shit, press the red button on the press now. Go for it." Because that's his only chance. But all in all, the thing about this is, Lachlan is really strong. You know that. I know that. Like, one of the things is I don't think the world realizes how strong Lachlan is yet. We haven't had the opportunity to pull internationally in a couple of years. I think Lachlan's fundamental strength is phenomenal, and this is easily my toughest super match. If I look at all my other super matches I've ever had, this one is like freaking leaps and bounds ahead of the second most difficult guy that I've faced. So this is a big deal for me. I'm happy that it's for the #1 rank in Australia. It's something I've been aiming for 8.5 years, almost 9 years.
Has it come as quick as you thought it would? This moment?
I think my earliest prediction, I said it would happen in 2020, but we never got the chance in 2020 to really do it. That was I go back, if you look through the social media posts, I think in about 2017, I made a prediction that by 2020 I'd be #1, but looks like it's going to be a year late. But
if it wasn't for COVID, you probably would have been almost bang on.
Maybe could have got it, but even still, there's still a few matches that need to happen. I'd love to know what the true order is of Australians top 10. It's we kind of know it, but it's not 100% certain. Obviously, Ben Carroll, Ryan Scott could come back at any point in time and be dangerous again. Brett Coots is dangerous. Mario's on the rise. Jordan's on the rise. There's
interesting.
Fatali's a beast. You could be in there at any point in time as well. Sam Burnett's small, but he's freaking man. He's making waves. Yeah, there's a good bunch there now.
Yeah, and then
Bunda's could Gunter's could pop back in at any time too, and then you think you're like, oh shit, it's Gunter's.
Oh mate, if he came back and took it seriously, everybody would be in trouble, wouldn't they?
Yeah, he'd be right back at that point, yeah, without a doubt. But this match for me, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. I really genuinely feel like I have everything needed to win it. What I felt the other day in that press conference didn't scare me. It gave me the confirmations I needed to say, yes, I will get the job done.
Yeah, and that's why I'm probably kind of leaning to you a little bit more, purely because you're such a good, obviously you're good at seeing a match and knowing what you need to do. And he's your training partner, so you know exactly what you need to do. And yeah, I find your prep is on point. So yeah, it's going to be a tough day for him. I think it's definitely not going to be easy.
In the room the other day at the Queensland titles, Lachlan didn't arrive until a couple of hours after I'd arrived, and just when I was in the room, people who hadn't seen me for a while, they're all coming up to me and touching my arm, and like they're saying, oh, "Dude," they're saying to me, "You were looking big on the photos and videos, but holy shit, dude! In real life, you were looking huge." And they're all saying, I can't see you losing. I can't see you losing. And then Lachlan arrived. And then they all went, oh, shit, Lachlan's big.
So who would you say Queensland's on? The inside circle?
Well, and I actually polled a bunch of arm wrestlers in the room. And I'd say 60% were Lachlan in the room.
So it's close.
Yeah, it's close. And there were a bunch of fence sitters that just were too scared to give us an answer because they saw how angry we got and they didn't want to upset us.
So who's going to be in your corner? Jordan or Sam?
I've been preparing with Sam Burnett and Ethan Tunstall for the match, so I'll probably have those two guys in the corner. Sam Burnett for me was the best guy that was shaped like Lachlan, that when I added some bands to him, he had a similar sort of feel. So I've been using, he's been helping me out with all of my explosive training. And Ethan Tunstall is kind of he's like Jordan in the sense that he's a real thinker and a technician. So I've been doing a lot of prep with him as well. Where I think Lachlan's been training with Fatali. So,
oh really?
Again, Lachlan's just been trying to get stronger. That's all he does. I lift heavy things.
Wrist flexion.
Yeah.
Do you think that's where it's going to be won or lost with him? If he can't get that wrist flexion, then he's cooked.
100%. If Lachlan bends his wrists, he wins. I promise you. I cannot beat him if his wrist is like that. No. But if that dude's wrist is there, he is fucked so bad. He cannot pin me with a flat wrist. No way. No way.
So
it's pretty much down to that.
If you end up winning this, is it back onto the big match and it'll be sort of for number one in Oceania, or? Yeah,
Matararangi I would love to face. It was only COVID that stopped us. So whenever that bubble opens again with New Zealand, that'll be on. But also Sasha Andreev and Božidar Simonov from Bulgaria have agreed to come to Australia again as soon as the borders are open, which apparently isn't too far away. So I've offered to pay for their travel. And
let us know when that's going to happen, because maybe I can tee up the match with Sam then and be over for that. Yeah. It'd be cool to rip up those guys.
As much as I love Matararangi, and he is a match I want, Southern Hemisphere hasn't got the recognition it deserves yet.
Yeah.
And me pulling Matararangi doesn't help us at all. I mean, we find it interesting, but Europe doesn't, and North America doesn't. Well, they'll watch, but they don't think that the winner means anything in that respect. So I want to pull Europeans next. They're my biggest priority. I want to pull Sashos. I want to pull Iraklis. I want to pull Zoloevs. I'd happily pull Todd Hutchins and people like that as well. And I just know I'm ready. I mean, again, people don't know, for instance, how well Ryan Scott did against Ron Barth. When Ron Barth came out and had a super match, like they were balanced. And people don't see that. People don't recognize that level of strength. They for some reason think, nah, you're just Aussies, you're still no good. But we've been at it for a decade now, and that's sufficient time that our best are as good as humans get. Really.
Yeah, I think we just need to be able to get out there more, don't we? And get more experience on the international level. And
Absolutely. Sam Burnett is so ready at his weight. Jordan, we know Jordan can freaking threaten almost anybody in the world at his weight. And so I'm sure he would. Lachlan as well. I mean, Lachlan against Cressy or against Marcio or would be amazing. And likewise, I just want to go to Zloty. I want to win that. I'd probably pull a 95 kilo category because I'm weighing like 102 right now. So I would cut to the 95s.
Are you on target for your 110, or you think it's going to drop short?
I started eating too early, and I got up to like 105, and I felt all heavy and bloated and nauseous. So I backed off again. I've dropped down to my normal weight at the moment, which is like 102. I'm going to ramp up from 10 days out again because I started too early. So I was taking lots of creatine. My stomach started feeling all like bloated and it was terrible. It's going to the shit I had. Taking a crap 3 times a day. It was terrible. So from 10 days out, I will do it. So I don't think I'll be 110. I think 106, 107 is what you'll see me at on the day. And even though I was only 100 kilos at that press conference the other day, I will be 106, I reckon, is my guess.
And are you just going to stay around that weight now, or?
No, I will drop back down after the match with Lachlan because it's hard for me to maintain 106. I think as soon as I stop force feeding and go back to just my natural appetite, I'll be back around 101, 102. And then from there, if I get an international opportunity, I'm willing to cut to 95 on a water cut just to pull in that Zloty tour or something like that. But the priority for me of 2022 moving forward in an international sense will be I would like to qualify for the top 8. So.
And if COVID ends up stuffing this, he's just going to go to a park somewhere and just do it anyway?
Well, yeah, that's the one good thing about this that we've said, like COVID's killed everything in Australia, just everything. This one can't be killed because we live local to each other. So no matter what, even if Queensland goes into a damn snap lockdown and they say no events on, I will put my backdrop up in my freaking backyard. We'll get the referees and we'll get a bunch of people around, and we will. This will happen no matter what. Nothing can stop this other than one of us dying.
And is this going to be live on your page?
100%. This will be live on my YouTube channel without a doubt. Yep.
Are you going to do the whole event live?
I think so. I think that's the plan. I will do the whole event live. I'll probably schedule my match with Lachlan as a separate live, so people can watch it back straight away, easier as well. But yeah, the whole I think there's about 10 or 12 solid super matches on that day.
I was going to ask you about that. The other sort of headlining matches, who you have in them ones.
Yeah, we got Grant Tolentino against Marcus Satirai on the right arm. That's good. Marcus is huge, as you know. He's ranked number 9 on the overalls. Grant kind of making a comeback.
He looks massive at the moment.
Yeah, he's built and ripped, so he's looking good. That's a good match. Then you've got Sam Safiri, Sam Burnett. Old guard return of Sam Safiri, first time competing. He's been around the club for about 6 months now, just training and just waking up that competitiveness again. And as you know, he used to be
a side pressure monster, eh?
Slam and Sam. So he's going, I think so. Yeah, he's going straight for the kill and taking on Sam Burnett. And I think Sam Burnett is going to be too much for him. He's too well rounded, and he can. If the match stops anywhere, it's all Sam Burnett's. But
so you don't think he'll even get an early round or two with that speed?
I think it'll be I think it'll be all Sam Burnett. I think Sam Burnett's hand is just too good. Like when you feel Sam's hand, it surprises you. You go, hang on, for a dude that's 80 kgs, how do you do that? How do you have a hand that good? Like outside of straps, he can hold. Like if I'm posting top rolling, if I'm top rolling to slip, he can hold on to me and say, no, you're not slipping. And not many people can do that. It's like, whoa, a lightweight's freaking redlining me on trying to slip. Like,
well, I've only ever gripped up with him once, and it was when he was still pretty new. So I kind of just jumped on top of him, and I ended it pretty quick. But he's changed a lot since then.
The Burnett family are a really unique family. There's something about them. I don't know what it is, but all of the Burnett children are phenomenally talented at everything they do. They've all got world titles in freaking 8-ball, and they're all now becoming elite arm wrestlers. Every sport they've ever touched, they nail. Academically, they're brilliant as well. It's like, what the hell is with this?
Yeah, this good genes,
brother. I think they could be like the Australian versions of the Zola Webs in the future. Like, the Burnett's are 4 years into the sport. Sam is 21, Nick is 19, Josh is 17, and then Junior is like 7. So they've got the best possible scenario for training in each other. They group up every day, and they're all super technical pullers, very instinctive, and genetically they are built so strong. It's just ridiculous how strong they are, and it's like what the hell? Their genes are good.
I've seen you go in the gym with them, and they all look like they're just going to be, just give them time, and they're all going to be up there.
Yeah. So that's internationally, I'd love to see Sam do something and whatnot. But anyway, it's a good time for the sport right now, even though it's a shit time. There's seems to be a lot going on despite all the COVID stuff. So it's good.
That's great.
Who you got? I don't know. What's your
with you and Lachlan?
Don't say me just because you're talking to me.
Well, like I said, I've been kind of going backwards and forwards. Every time I think I'm set, I know I have a good idea who I think's going to win. I'll see a new video and I'll be like, oh, Jesus. So like I said, I'm finding it hard to see Lachlan winning off the go. I just think you're going to be too comfortable. And I just think you're just going to be too good off the go. And then it just comes down to whether he can sort of stop it in a good position. But I'm leaning towards you more, again, because of that, and also just the experience. You've had way more ready goes. I think, I just find it hard to see Lachlan winning off that start, but I'll be surprised anyway. If the ready go happens and he slams, sorry, what was that?
I said, but he is a strong fucker.
Yeah, he is, yes. So again, that's why it's so hard, because I felt him for Ryan Scott, and he felt like an absolute wall, and he reckons he's stronger. So but then I know you're obviously a lot stronger, because you were pretty banged up that day, and I'm sure you're far stronger now. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It really is. It's actually really fun too. I did for a match that was not the choice of either of us. We both wanted to pull someone else before facing each other. It's ended up becoming something really awesome. And it really does feel like this is the moment to really declare who's number one. So I'm really pumped, really looking forward to it.
I think everybody is.
I'm ready.
So just another quick question on sort of the Ben front. Who do you think out of you and Lachlan stylistically gives him a better match? Like, not necessarily, obviously if you'd verse him, you'd want to probably finish it pretty quick, I'd say.
I think Lachlan would be prepared to go wrist on wrist with Ben, where I wouldn't want to go wrist on wrist with Ben. I'd be trying to beat Ben kind of similar to the way I'm going to try to beat Lachlan.
Well, I was going to say that, Ben's very heavy on getting the wrist flexion and sort of drag. That's where I think him and Lachlan would be fascinating, because they would both just want this wrist flexion. And I don't know, whoever's sort of got the most pronation to stay on top. It's fascinating.
I think we have to see it. No matter what happens with Lachlan and I, Ben needs to face both of us at some point in the next 12 months. I think doing the right thing by Ben, he should face the winner of Lachlan and I next, and Ben sits there as the number one contender, as the first guy in the line to have a crack at that formal position. But regardless of that, I'd love to see him fool both of us. I think it's just super interesting. It's super interesting.
I just want to see that just power on power with him and Lachlan just slamming into each other. And
exactly. That's it. Just find out who has more horsepower when they both just go straight at it. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't want to go straight at either of those two dudes. Screw that.
Yeah, it's horrible. Ben's flop
anyway,
press is pretty nasty. So,
well, that's it. Yeah, the flop press that he's discovered is dangerous, and that's where people like Jordan, for instance, like Jordan would probably be able to take Ben's wrist based on what I'm seeing from Jordan right now. But then it's like, well, Ben would go, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and I commented on somebody asked how he'd go, and I said that. I said, oh, I think even if sort of he took his wrist, Ben wouldn't really care. So it's whether Jordan's got enough bicep to keep his arm up. Which that's the part I find.
I would love to see Jordan and Ryan Scott. That's a match.
Yeah, I would as well. Yeah, 100%.
The battle for up the top like that, that would be great. I think that for me right now, that's a 50-50 match, Ryan Scott and Jordan.
I want to see Mario and Ryan Scott as well. I think that'd be another great match.
And I want to see Vitali and Brett.
God, there's some good matches to be had, isn't it? If COVID just disappeared and you could put on one event, it'd be pretty special.
Yeah. When it finally does happen and we get one big event with all those names turning up in the same room, man, winning that tournament and throw Matt Orangi in there as well, winning that tournament, whoa, that's a big deal.
So big deal. Obviously you'll be still doing over the top.
Yeah.
Are you going to try to get even heavier for that, or still around that?
Well, my long-term plan is to get as strong as I can. I expect a decade from now that you're looking at a 125 kilo guy.
Jesus.
So, so I'm not going to be restricting myself for any weight categories, but you'll see me intermittently over the next few years probably cut weight for little moments in time at events. Like at the moment, I'm saying I'd be prepared to cut to 95 for a Zloty. In 3 years' time, I might be saying I'm prepared to cut to 105 for Zloty. But my long-term goal is just I want to be the number one in the country. I want to cement that, and then it's just I want to climb the international ranks as high as I can. So I want to eventually, like at the moment, my goal in the international is to qualify for the 95 kilo top 8. I'd love to do that and see how deep I can go in there. I'd love to qualify and then just finish in that top half.
That really suits you, that format, super match format. So
6-round format, that's just me to a T. So I'd love that. But eventually I'd like to qualify for the big top 8. So we'll see.
I could imagine you a 125 kilo version of you to be like the right side of your body would just be 4 times the size of your left. You'd just look.
It is becoming quite extreme. The difference between my left and right is kind of nuts. But
although looking at some training footage, it looks like your left's still sort of starting to get up there as well a bit.
This last few months, even though I haven't done any specific bicep work, for instance, on my left, there are a lot of things I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of pressing, so my left is moving in that. I'm doing a lot of tricep work, which is involving my left as well. And I am doing light bicep stuff on my right. So like at the end of a session, I'll just grab like 10 kilo dumbbells and be just doing some volume. So I'm getting the volume on my left. I'm just not doing anything heavy.
Yeah.
Nothing heavy happens on my left.
So it probably feels healthy then.
Yeah. So my left is actually growing and looks good. And yeah, it's starting to actually. I mean, I gripped up with Grant Tolentino.
You look like you destroyed him.
Yeah. Traditionally, I can't do shit with him on left. And I could hold him in a hook and he couldn't pin me. And I'm like, oh shit, look at this. I hold Grant's left hook.
I seen one clip of that and I was like, what the hell? What am I watching? Yeah.
It surprised me as much as it surprised Grant. I think Grant was like, oh man, seriously, I can't do anything against your left. So I don't know, maybe I pulled a left hand impromptu super match with Jordan 3 weeks ago as well. And he felt like a child on my left.
And I mean, his left is still, the last time I versed his left, he destroyed me. So his left is still pretty good.
So I don't know. So maybe my left has arrived and I'm not even aware of it. I don't know. But the thing about my left is it sucks. When we talk about arm wrestling, it doesn't suck in an arm wrestling table IQ sense. It sucks in a conditioning sense. it is not conditioned to do the things I want it to do.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I have a defensive hook that I can be great in. I have a posting top roll that I can hit off the go, but nothing in between. If I'm not strong enough to just win with a posting top roll and I have to use my defensive hook, I need my opponent to basically give up. I can't transition. I have no rotation. It's just, and it all feels uncomfortable. So
yeah, it's exactly the same as me. So I'm going to have a left match with Luke soon. Obviously, he's the current state champ over here for under 80. And I know that if that match stops, I'll hold him out for a while, but there's no way in hell I'll be able to win. It's the same thing. It's like it either wins quick or it loses.
You have to end up pinning him using a defensive position. So you have to like drop your body so low in a defensive hook. But anyway, I'm all about the giant pumpkin. I've genuinely been giant pumpkin my entire life, and that's because I was a tennis player as a kid. Yeah. So everything I did was right-handed, and then I got to arm wrestling, and obviously, everything I've done is right-handed. So, time under tension is 99% right to left ratio. So, yeah, I like it that way. It's pretty cool.
Oh, right arm's the money arm.
It is.
All right, man. Well, thanks for your time and coming on, having a chat. Like I said,
I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. This is a good one. I'm looking forward to it. So I appreciate you asking some good questions too. Because like I said, you in particular, I think you personally actually have the best perspective there is to have on who I'm facing. And that might sound weird to everyone else, but you felt Lachlan the day before he was due to face Ryan. So that is what I'm facing, plus a little bit more or whatever he reckons he's better. So I enjoyed this chat because I know that you know exactly what I'm up against.
Well, I was going to send Lachlan a message and see if he'd want to have a chat with me as well. So it'd be interesting to get his responses.
Get him on there. He's been real quiet. I haven't heard his thoughts, but he'll be upset just hearing me say everything I've said here. This will be all more reason for him to get all flustered on the day. So Lachlan, best of luck maintaining control of your emotions. Just make sure you have that helpline number ready at the end of the match.
I'll make sure I intro with that. add some more fuel to the fire. Right? I want to see some fireworks.
We've gone this far. We might as well just throw fuel on the fire now. There's no point in trying to cool it down.
Awesome. All right, man.
Thank you so much.
I'll let you go. Yeah, thanks a lot. So if you made it this far, I just want to say thanks for watching. If you have any feedback for me, just please leave a comment. I might try to get Lachlan on to do a bit of a response, and it'd be interesting to get his views on it. But I just wanted to say thanks for watching.